You already know what happened to Tyler. He watched a 15-year-old boy board a coach alone at 5 in the morning, chase a girl he met on Roblox, and end up pulled from a wrecked vehicle on the side of a motorway. You thought that was the end. It wasn't, because while Tyler was recovering in his bedroom, Sable was making the exact same mistake, and this time, nobody survived to warn her in time. This is part 2, and it's worse. Before we start, subscribe and hit the bell. This channel is where Roblox stories go when they're too real for anyone else to tell. Every single week, every single one darker than the last. When Tyler came home from the hospital, he wasn't the same person who had left. The sling came off after 3 weeks. The cut on his forehead faded to a thin line. But the other thing, the thing that had happened inside him on that embankment, pressed against a cracked window while someone 3 rows back cried and he thought about his mother's kitchen. That didn't heal the same way. He stopped talking at dinner. He stopped checking his phone. He would sit in his room with the lights off, not playing anything, not watching anything, just sitting. His parents moved around him carefully like he was something fragile that might shatter if they spoke too loud. He didn't touch Roblox for 6 weeks. Then one night, out of pure exhaustion from doing nothing, he opened it. Just to look. Just for a minute. And there was his Bloxburg plot, exactly as he'd left it. The house he'd spent 2 years building. The car parked in the same spot. Everything frozen in place like a room nobody had entered since a funeral. He logged off immediately, but the next night, he went back. And the night after that, and slowly, without deciding to, he started playing again. Not the way he used to, not for hours, but for 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there, just to feel something normal. That was when Sable messaged him. The messages had been sitting there for weeks. He'd seen the notification count, 51, and hadn't opened it, but now he did. He read through them in order, from the panicked ones sent the day of the crash. "Tyler, are you okay? I saw something on Twitter. Please just tell me you're alive." To the quieter, sadder ones, sent days later when he still hadn't answered. The last one, from a Thursday night, just said, "I'm still here if you want to talk. No pressure. I just need to know you're okay." He typed back, "I'm okay. Sorry I disappeared." Her reply came in 30 seconds. They talked for 4 hours that night. It felt in some ways like nothing had changed. The same rhythm, the same jokes, the same sense that she understood things about him that nobody in his actual life did. But something had shifted underneath it. Tyler noticed it without being able to name it at first. She wasn't just happy to hear from him. She was urgent about it. She wanted to know when he'd be back on Roblox properly. She wanted to rebuild the plot they'd been planning before he left. She mentioned twice in the same conversation how much she hated that they were still just voices and text, how real everything felt, and how wrong it was that they'd never actually been in the same room. Tyler felt a chill he didn't show. "Let's just play for now," he typed. "I'm not ready for anything else." She said she understood. She didn't. Over the next few weeks, Sable's messages changed in a way Tyler noticed but couldn't quite describe. She was warmer, more attentive. She remembered small things he'd mentioned months ago and brought them up out of nowhere. She started logging into Bloxburg early, so the server was already running when he arrived. She sent him a playlist she'd made, 43 songs, with a note that said each one reminded her of something he'd said. He listened to it alone in his room with the lights off and felt the dangerous, specific warmth of being known by someone. And then, one evening, she said it. "Tyler, I've been thinking. You took a bus to come to me. I know what happened. I was there. I felt every second of it, even from here, but I can't keep doing this. Screens aren't enough. I want to be in the same room as you. I want to actually meet you." And I was thinking, I could take the train. Tyler put his phone down on the desk. He stared at it. He picked it up. "No," he typed. "Sable, listen to me. I know exactly what you're feeling right now because I felt it. I planned it for 2 months. I saved the money. I set the alarm. I walked out of my house at 4 in the morning, and I thought I was doing the bravest thing I'd ever done. And I ended up in a ditch on the side of the motorway with blood on my face and a paramedic asking me my name. I was lucky. Do you understand? I was genuinely lucky. Please don't do this. She went quiet for 2 days. Tyler thought it was over. It wasn't. When she came back, she didn't bring it up directly. She was lighter, more relaxed. Like the conversation had never happened. They played Bloxburg for 3 nights in a row. She was funny and easy to talk to, and Tyler felt himself relaxing, telling himself he'd got through to her, that the 2 days of silence had been her processing it and deciding he was right, he was wrong. What those 2 days actually were, she had been planning. Sable had looked up train routes the same way Tyler had once looked up bus tickets, methodically, quietly, cross-referencing timetables and prices and journey times. She found a connection that would take her door to door in just under 11 hours with 2 changes. She worked out the cost. She looked at her mother's purse, which sat on the hallway table every evening when her mother came in from work. She told herself it was just looking, just numbers, just information. The first time she took money, it was $30. She stood in the hallway for 10 minutes afterward, heart going, waiting to hear her mother notice. Nothing happened. A week later, she took 40, then 50. She kept the money in an old pencil case at the back of her wardrobe, under a stack of sketchbooks. She counted it every few days. When she had enough, she bought the ticket on her phone at midnight. Screen brightness turned all the way down, lying on her side under the duvet. She didn't tell Tyler. She told herself she'd explain when she arrived, that when he saw her standing in front of him in real life, it would make sense to him, that the moment would justify everything. The morning she left, her parents thought she was going to school. She'd packed the night before, slowly and quietly, choosing things that wouldn't obviously be missing. A change of clothes rolled tight, her charger, her headphones, a small amount of cash. She left her school bag in her room so her mother wouldn't see her carrying 2 bags. She wore her coat over her uniform and told her mother she was running late and kissed her on the cheek and walked out. She got the bus to the station. On the platform, waiting for the first train, she took a photo of her feet on the tile and sent it to Tyler without context. Then she turned her notifications off. Tyler saw the photo 40 minutes later when he woke up. He stared at it. Something about it was wrong in a way he couldn't immediately identify. The angle, the shoes, the platform floor. He typed, "Where are you?" No ticks. He typed it again, no response. He started to understand. He called her. It rang 6 times and went to voicemail. He called again. Voicemail. He sat on the edge of his bed at 7 in the morning and felt a specific kind of cold that had nothing to do with temperature. Sable, if this is what I think it is, please call me back right now. Please. Nothing. She'd been traveling for 3 hours when the weather changed. The first train had been fine. Clean, on time, a window seat, fields going past in the gray morning light. She'd eaten a cereal bar and watched a show on her phone and felt genuinely good. Alive in a particular way. Like she was the main character in something. The second train was where it started. The delay was announced on the platform, not a short one, 40 minutes, and the reason given over the tannoy was something about adverse weather on the line ahead. Sable looked out through the station's glass roof and saw that the sky to the north had gone an ugly dark purple. She pulled up a weather app. Storm warning. She looked at the route ahead on the map. She told herself it would be fine by the time the train started moving. It wasn't. The train left the station late and within 20 minutes had slowed to a crawl. Rain was hitting the windows sideways. Sable could feel the carriage swaying slightly with each gust, and she pressed her knees together and looked at the other passengers to check if they were worried. Some of them were checking their phones. One man near the front was gripping the armrest. Outside, there was nothing visible, just gray-white nothing in every direction. Then the train stopped, not at a station, in the middle of the track, somewhere between 2 fields with no announcement. The lights stayed on, but the engine sound dropped away, and the sudden quiet was worse than noise would have been. 5 minutes passed. 10. Then a conductor came through the carriage, moving quickly, not making eye contact, and the words Sable caught as he passed were, "Landslip on the line and not safe to proceed, and emergency services contacted." What happened next took 4 hours and felt like 20. The landslip had come down across the track about 300 meters ahead of where they'd stopped. a section of embankment weakened by 2 weeks of rain that had finally let go all at once. The track was buried under several tons of earth and rock. There was no going forward. Going backward meant waiting for a signal change that wasn't coming because the same storm had taken out a relay station 2 miles south. The train was stuck. The heating failed after the first hour. Sable had her coat, but the carriage went cold fast, the particular cold of a metal box in a November storm, and she pulled her knees to her chest and wrapped the coat around them and sat like that while the rain hit the windows and the light outside went from gray to dark gray to something close to black. She turned her phone on. She had 11% battery. She had missed 14 calls from Tyler and a string of messages that got shorter and more terrifying as they went on, ending with just, "Sable, please." She typed back, "I'm okay. Train is stuck. There's been a landslip. I'm not hurt. I'm so sorry." His reply came in seconds. "Oh, thank God. Are you safe? Is anyone with you? What's happening?" They texted back and forth as her battery counted down. She told him where she was. He looked it up. He told her emergency services were already on site. He'd found a local news post. She read it on his screen-grabbed image, her phone too low on data to load the page herself. The headline said, "Passengers stranded as storm causes embankment collapse on mainline route. 7%. 5. 3. Tyler, my phone is dying. I'm okay. I promise. I'm okay. Tell someone where I am." "I already did," he typed. "I called my mom. She's calling the railway. They know you're on that train. 1%. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you." The screen went black. The rescue took another 2 hours. Coaches came from the nearest town along a road that ran parallel to the track, and passengers were walked across a muddy field in the dark to reach them, a line of people with phone torches picking their way through the wet. Sable was near the back of the line. Her shoes were soaked through. She was shaking in a way that had nothing to do with the cold. When she finally climbed onto the coach and sat down in a dry seat under a working light, she put her face in her hands and stayed that way for a long time. At the nearest station, she found a charging point behind the ticket desk and stood there for 20 minutes while her phone came back to life. When it hit 5%, she called Tyler. He picked up before the first ring finished. Neither of them spoke for a moment. Then he said, "Are you warm?" She said, "Getting there." He said, "Your parents don't know where you are." She said, "I know." He said, "You need to call them." She said, "I know." A pause. "Tyler." He said, "I know." Her father drove 4 hours to collect her. He arrived at the station at 11:30 at night. He pulled up, got out, looked at her standing on the pavement outside with her ruined shoes and her dead eyes. And he didn't say anything. He opened the car door. She got in. He got in. He started driving. Halfway home, without looking at her, he said, "You have no idea what your mother's been doing since Tyler's mom called." Sable looked at her hands. "I know," she said. "No," he said quietly. "You don't." She didn't say anything else for the rest of the journey. At home, her mother was in the kitchen. She'd been there since the call came. When Sable walked in, she didn't shout. She didn't move for a moment. Then she crossed the kitchen and held her, and didn't let go for a long time, and Sable felt the shaking that was still in her body finally start to let go too. Her phone stayed on the counter for 3 days. Nobody took it. Nobody told her she had to give it up. She didn't touch it herself. On the 4th day, she turned it on. She had messages from Tyler. She read them. She put it down. On the 7th day, she typed back, "I keep thinking about what you said, that you thought you were being brave." He replied, "I know. I thought that too," she typed. "I genuinely thought it made sense." "It does make sense," he typed. "That's the problem. It makes so much sense right up until it doesn't." They talked for a while. Not for 4 hours this time. Maybe 40 minutes. And when she said she had to go, she meant it, and she went. Nobody knows if they're still in contact. Nobody knows if Sable ever went back to Roblox. Tyler hasn't touched Bloxburg since the night he deleted the plot. But here's what both of them know now, in a way that can't be unfelt. The game always has a respawn button. You can delete the house, rebuild from scratch, try again with a different avatar in a different server. Nothing in Roblox is permanent. That's the whole point. But the train was real. The storm was real. The embankment that came down across the track was 300 tons of real earth. And if the timing had been 10 minutes different, if the train had been moving at full speed when it hit, the story I'd be telling you now would have a different ending. It nearly did. So, what do you think? Was Sable reckless, or was she just doing exactly what Tyler had done, for exactly the same reasons? Was it the game's fault, or something the game just made visible? Leave your answer below. Subscribe if you want the next one. And stay safe, because in the real world, when something goes wrong, you don't get to reload the last save.